Hello everybody, this is Pejman Pirmoradi, doctor in pharmacy, and this is my sixth program from series called Our Health System. This program is called Drug Costs. In this program I will go over the reasons why we are paying much more for drug prices, prescription drugs and non-prescription drugs in the US compared to the rest of the world. So this dysfunctional health system has another issue, it has several issues, and this issue is called drug cost. When you go back to 1960s, average American used to pay about $90 per year for their prescriptions. This price rose all the way to $1,025 in 2017. Now let's compare to prescription drug costs in the US to developed countries like Canada, UK, Denmark, Sweden, Japan. Combined average prescription drugs in those countries are 1/4 of US. Patient spends 4 times more for average prescription compared to these countries for the same drugs. Same drugs, apple to apples. When you compare a long list of drugs, we are paying much more prices than the rest of the world, and the price that we pay is from 2 times all the way to 67 times than the rest of the world for the same drugs. And I will explain why we have this situation for American people. I have a friend, he has Parkinson's disease, and he's a pharmacist. He's retired, 74 years old. He's battling with Parkinson's, and he was explaining he was deeply disappointed because there's a drug, it's called Tasigna. It's being used for CML, it's type of leukemia, and he has been shown to be effective against Parkinson's disease. And so because of the battle, the fight between these two drug companies that they are making these drugs on patent fights, they stopped the study. So that's one example of the money-driven, profit-driven drug industry in this country. Another example would be the opioid crisis that we had in the last 2 decades that created a lot of buzz around it. And more than 200,000 Americans died in this crisis so far. In year 2016 alone by itself, more than 42,000 Americans died because of opioid overdose, mainly synthetic opioids like oxycodone and fentanyl. Give you an example. In 2012, we only sold 4.2 million doses of oxycodone to the whole America. This number jumped all the way to 42 million doses of oxycodone in 2016. In 2012, only 63,000 doses of fentanyl were sold in the US market, and this number jumped all the way to the staggering number of 1.3 million doses of fentanyl in 2016. And so many people died. Big pharmas kept producing more and more, manufacturing more of these drugs because the profit was good. Didn't raise the flag for 2 decades. From doctors, physicians' offices, distributors, pharmacies, Walgreens, CVS, nobody caught it. They didn't care because everybody was making profit, to be honest. So this is the situation we have in this country. Drug industry is making profit. Drugs are commodities, and that's the way they look at them, and to make profit, just like the rest of the health system in this country. CDC has a report in 2015 what Americans do about this situation. They cannot afford the prescriptions, so what do? There is a report in 2015 from CDC that about 5 million Americans bought their prescriptions online from other countries, including Canada. Another report from Kaiser Family Foundation in 2016, more than 19 million Americans bought their much needed prescriptions from outside US countries like Canada, and they saved about 70% of drug costs. This is one way Americans are trying to go around the dysfunctional system to be able to afford. It's a matter of life and death for so many Americans. It's so embarrassing, so shameful, so unethical system that they have to go through this. The federal government bans, it has restrictions. The reason would be the safety. How do you want to make sure that the online drug is safe and effective? But that's the only way they can afford it. And or they have to skip the medications that most people do these days. They skip the medications, they don't fill their prescriptions, they get worse, they go back to hospital like a vicious cycle, and they die. That's the situation we have because of drug prices in this country. Now, more than 70% of drugs, prescription drugs in this country, most popular drugs like cardiovascular drugs, diabetic drugs, they are manufactured outside US and they come back to US and they are sold with prices much more than the rest of the world. I'll give you an example. Nexium 40 milligram capsule, it's being produced in Sweden. AstraZeneca company, drug manufacturer. It's sold to American customer or patient for $7.78 for each pill, each capsule. The same 40 milligram capsule in UK is about $3, and the price goes all the way down to only 37 cents in Turkey and India. Why? Why American people have to pay this much? And they have every right to ask this question. Emily Miller, she is the editor-in-chief for Drug Watch. She has a very interesting report, excellent report. She published in 2018 regarding drug prices in the US compared to the rest of the world. And she goes through the reasons why drug prices are so high in the US compared to the rest of the world. And she starts with the cost of research and development, competition between drug manufacturers, and the free drug pricing system in the country. Unlike the other countries, there's no free price system. Whatever price they want to put, they can put their medications in the US. And also there is a ban in the US on the federal negotiations. Government cannot negotiate for drug prices for average American people. And that's a big problem we have in this country. Another thing is a direct-to-consumer advertising, or a DTCA. This is the advertisement about drugs. New drugs come to the market. The advertised manufacturers directly advertise to me and you on TV. This advertisement in 1997 was about $17.7 billion. And it rose all the way to $30 billion in 2017. And the average number of advertisement per year for all these drug companies was about 72 advertisements on TV in 1997, and this jumped all the way to 663,000 advertisements for drugs. This is a for-profit system, so they advertise. The physician looks at me and you as a customer. They have to make me and you happy, so you look at the advertisement, it looks enticing, and you have a disease, you want to cure it, and you ask your physician to write it. They have to make you happy because you're a customer. They don't want to lose the business, so they write for you. This drug could be 10, 15, 20, 100 times more than the classic drugs in the market, not be as effective, but they write it anyway. This is one of the reasons that drives the drug cost and the total cost of health system in this country. So these are the different reasons that we have drug costs going skyrocketing in this country. Last year, in 2019, drug industry's profit was about $1.3 trillion. And drug industries were the most profitable sector of health system. And the second, again, as I explained before, was hospitals. There used to be health insurances. Hospitals took over. They make much more profit than health insurances. So these are the problems we have. We are facing regarding drug costs in this country. From opioid crisis, big pharmas, the greed, no cap on pricing, no government mandates, no patient protection against this price gouging, and it has to change. And we have to change this system. This is one of the other reasons that this system is broken beyond repair and beyond fixable. Thank you so much for listening, for watching this program. All I'm trying to do to explain why we cannot fix this system and what would be the alternative and how we can get there. And there's not such a thing as impossible again. We can accomplish anything. And let changing this drug industry, changing this health system, this shameful, non-inclusive, non-transparent system to a true system that we can call it healthcare. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please like it if you will, because it's important for more people to watch and see. And please share it with your family members and with your friends. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.